want to say sorry in advance. I just really feel the need to record and get some thoughts out of my head right now. This will be event video. My current active member would be Chaos. He's not feeling the greatest right now. Honestly, I don't really have anyone to talk about. Not talk about, but to talk to. From a reality sense. For the most part, it's related to where I live. It's so fun because I can't do anything about it. So, one of the things I found out today was that our stupid leader decided to take bribes from Qatar. E.g., militarizing our country further instead of fixing the actual issues in our country. In fact, our country doesn't even need to be fucking militarized. There is not really any war happening right now, to my knowledge, outside of Russia versus Ukraine. And again, the media is usually censored, so I don't even hear about half the shit going on in the world. It's so fun. Also just running on way too little sleep right now. I've been grinding way too hard on tech stuff. Released Jason Loader 2.7.0 at 3 in the morning last night. Woke up around, I want to say 10 in the morning, went to sleep 4 in the morning. And I also grinded out a fix for a Thunderstore thing earlier today. Well, more so Creator did. But yeah. And then there's also all the shit related to Stonewall and LGBTQ. And all the stuff related to the stupid leader deciding to suppress us further. As if no one ever pays attention to science and decides to actually do something about it. Fun fact, our stupid leader has been impeached twice now, and yet he's still allowed to fucking run. And I wouldn't be shocked if he's had more sense. Heard about that one from a Fall Out Boy song called We Didn't Start the Fire, which was originally by Billy Joel, but Fall Out Boy remastered it for the modern lens. And I wouldn't be shocked if there's another one very soon. And then to go along with that, the UK is also passing stuff to suppress the queer group more. E.g., bathroom bans. Everyone's favorite subject lately. Honestly, don't understand why people can't just accept people the way they are and treat them like they would anyone else. It's so funny. Most of the issues wouldn't happen if people would just treat others with fucking respect and kindness. Which, honestly, I have found very little in terms of people actually being nice, honestly. Except for maybe the spare 1 to 2 or the many teachers I've had. Outside of that, it's been really limited except for online. And I more so speak in the in-person sense. Because online, people tend to treat others with more respect. Probably because there's a mask. And they don't be cancelled or something. But in person, it's often the opposite truth. In person, people care less because half the time they know that they can't be hurt, while they actively hurt others. Honestly, when that stuff happens, I hope it bites them one day. Because it's not fun to live through for anyone that experiences it. In fact, it often depresses people. And a fun fact, I was bullied in middle school and 9th grade. I believe it was 7th grade year. In gym, there was 4 kids just constantly bullying me in gym. There were a few nice people in there, but most of them were not really nice at all. Though I also don't really interact with many people. I'm the quiet kid. Or I guess more so, I became the quiet kid. Because no one wants to interact with that queer kid in the corner. It's a bit nerdy at night and shit. Sorry, FNAF joke. Don't remember where I heard it. Honestly, meant to do a few of these before. Today, I just really felt like I needed to. And Surf gets silent at points. I'm just that tired. I'm tired of this shit world. Also, got to see a dog for the first time again. That's better as well. Also, we'll put a heads up in advance that I am sorry if there's background. People love being the loudest people ever. They're actually nuts. If you can't tell from the many streams in the past, where there's just suddenly yelling in the background because no one knows how to knock on the door. Oh, and for clarity, this is a 7-person household. And half the time people just barge into rooms without permission as well. Like so. No. Answer is no. Do. As I was saying. But yeah, they're supportive, but they are just way too nosy sometimes. For reference, that was the second youngest brother. And yes, there are way too many guys in this house. Three of them younger than me, 2 of them older than me. Also, I did lose the trail of thought I had earlier about the dog thing, but I do really, really want one. Again, I miss Osman. You posted a picture of him once or twice. He also has card art in a mod I helped make called Zoxy mod. Which was made, like, I want to say 3 or 4 months before he died. Now my time perception is also just fucked. As a random fun fact for those unaware, I'm 17. And look how much I fucking do at my age. It's crazy. Like, mentally, I feel like I'm over 20 at this point. Maybe even 30. Yet, I'm 17 in high school. I graduate May of 2027. I think by then I can find a friend or two, maybe, if I'm lucky. But for me, it's just really, really hard to find a good friend. Mainly because of who I am and how people perceive me. Bad reference here, but you know the caste system that was in India around its golden age and before? And then, you know that class called the Untouchables, or whatever it's actually called? I don't know. Like, I know it was a system, but I don't remember the exact name. Either that or just English translation might be wrong. But essentially, it was just that group that no one wanted to interact with, to the point where they had to work long days and nights to be where they were. To the point where some even wanted to escape, if I recall right. That's pretty much how I'm treated. For the most part, not really in the household sense, but in the real life sense, yeah, that's how it feels. Oh, also, another quirk about me, I hear everything. Including the door that's opened to my right around like 5 times in the past 10 minutes. And I also notice things visually too. Many things that move in the corner sometimes, or hear noises out of nowhere. I also feel like I have schizophrenia. It's not diagnosed, but I tend to hear things out of nowhere. That door has opened for the 6th time now. I don't know why they keep moving. Also, sorry if there's any like copyright issues in this video anywhere. Listening to death metal quietly in the background. If you can't tell by the top corner. Because I didn't really know what else to listen to. Also, the funnest thing is, when I was in Germany, Italy, and Switzerland, around, I want to say, in June of 2025, was one of the nicest weeks of my life. Honestly, I felt like I could just be myself. I don't remember the exact city, but I also heard an acoustic guitar just down the street from the hotel I was at. One of the nights I just sat outside for a while. Just trying to be myself and chill. Not a care of the world. Those moments unfortunately don't last long. And there's door open number 7. I wish I got more of those moments. Wish America could just stop making things worse for everyone, not just me. It's a worldwide issue at this point. Don't even know how this stupid man got elected again. I also wish people were educated on what a third party was. Like the mass populace, so that stuff like this wouldn't happen. Or maybe even prevent a first party system. Because 2 wings of a corrupt eagle being in charge is not the way to go. It wasn't even the way Washington wanted it back when America started. Oh, also, a random fun fact that I found out recently. I believe it was George Mason, one of the anti-federalists from the 1800s before the current constitution got instated, called out that corruption in the president was possible. And look where we are today. If things had gone differently, and the anti-federalists were organized or had a voice, this could have been prevented aeons ago. Oh yeah, also, America loves hiding it, but they've committed 2 genocides at this point. And they're on the verge of a 3rd. Why am I hearing whistling? Really, why am I hearing whistling? Might be going crazy again. But yeah, the first was the Trail of Tears, where Andrew Jackson, want to say unauthorized, forced a ton of natives to walk by foot under gunpoint to a reserve over toward Oklahoma. And then presidents after that kept shrinking the land they had repeatedly until barely anything was left for them. Oh, also another fun fact, Andrew Jackson is just responsible for Florida being a thing. He unauthorized conquered Florida for the US under President Monroe. Heard about this from my AP US history teacher. Which, fun fact, A-Push is like one of the only courses that actually teaches Americans American history without censorship. And that's now being called woke, so people are making a thing called fact, which requires you to know verses from the fucking Bible as history, without knowing any of the real world shit that America's caused, including stuff that Reagan did, which, if I recall right, includes Vietnam and the shooting in Ohio, where people were trying to protest the Vietnam War. And American sons have been very, very anti-war, anti-nuclear, anti-corruption. And yet, look where we fucking are. And that was just like the 80s. It's been around like 40, 60 years since. And nothing's gotten better. It's just gotten worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. And the second genocide of note is Vietnam. From what I saw, it wasn't even clear which side we were fighting for. And it could have been fabricated from the start. Not fabricated in the sense of it didn't happen, but fabricated in the sense of US's involvement as protecting. Because it feels like they were doing the opposite, like they currently are. For example, with the fact that they kidnapped the president of Venezuela. Well, probably not kidnapped, but they did take him hostage because he held guns, if I recall right. Like I heard it from DannyPhantom.exe around January 3rd, which is when it happened. January 3rd, 2026 to be precise. 3 days into the new year. I also heard other rumors that they killed his wife and bombed the place too. I'm not sure on the accuracy of those statements though. I've also heard from a few sources that the US is slowly becoming communist, but I don't think that's true. But I can partially agree on the fact that they're becoming isolationist. Not wanting involvement with the world, even though the people of the US would appreciate that involvement outside of wars. Like, wars is the main issue that everyone seems to neglect. And then also hospitality for the people within. I remember World War II trying to have a double V campaign. Basically, a victory within and victory without. Which, for the most part, did work until, if I recall right, Stonewall. Like, it slowly became less of a racially segregated place and more of a personality segregation and discrimination. Remember a song coming out called Granny McNally around, it was either August or September of 2024, talking about the bathroom bans and calling out Granny McNally, Billy. There's also a Tom in there. Basically, governors of Texas who were against the trans. And then around, I want to say, like, June of 2025, I'm probably off on that, another song dropped called Hostage by the same artist, which pretty much highlights all of the issues we're seeing today. That people still are too ignorant to listen to. Guys, it even calls out that ignorance is bliss. But no one listens to the lyrics half the time. So they don't even see the signs right in front of them if they just listened. Which is one of the other issues. People don't fucking listen in this world. Like, most issues can be solved very easily if people would just fucking listen. Or pay attention. Or just observe what is happening around them. Like, everything has just been in their face since Trump's first election. Like, Obama was fine, but when Trump got there, oh boy, everything just started going down. And then they went and elected him again. in 2024. I don't even know why. But they did. Even knowing about Project 2025, which aims to do a lot of things that have happened, including worse conditions against the trans, for women, the economy. In fact, our government got shut down twice this year too. Well, not this year, more so last year. But I think it's also this year, over ICE. That's 9 times now. Basically a group aimed at immigrant enforcement. Any mention of them tends to end up in legal persecution for no fucking reason, because this government just sucks. And then there's also Doge, which is basically about monitoring Americans for security, they say. Y'all know what it really is. It's surveillance. Just like how governments are trying to enforce ID verification to make sure you're an adult. Or is it really just to make sure that those speaking out against you are held legally accountable for what they've done? And half the time it's not even illegal because we have the fucking freedom of the press. And the freedom of speech. Meaning criticism should not be illegal. And yet it is being treated as illegal. To the point where people are being killed. This has been seen both with ICE and the new wave of trans-related deaths. So far, I've heard 5 people mentioned who have died. I don't know the names off the top of my head, but there is an Instagram reel that you can find which lists the first 4. They still don't know the details about the 5th, and I'm sure more have happened at this point. Anyways, I should probably save subjects before I end up a dead man walking or some shit. Wouldn't shock me. Because I probably have beliefs that go against the American government. Even though they're just basic human beliefs. Oh yeah, and also founding principles of this fucking nation. Such as all men are created equal and should be treated as such. Or people have certain unalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness or property, depending on if you're talking about Jefferson or John Locke. John Locke was, if I recall right, around during the 1200s, or it might have been a bit later, but toward the First Enlightenment. Jefferson was the one who wrote the Declaration of Independence and was the 3rd president of the United States after John Adams. I believe it was John. Basically the guy who enacted the Alien and Sedition Acts against the French, which are being used today to prosecute people. in the opposite manner of what it was intended for. Honestly, that should have expired years ago. Not years, millennia ago. Well, that's probably too long. Well, no. No. That refers to 1,000, so probably not that far-fetched at this point. Yeah, there's a lot that I've learned that's just been on my mind. I'd be shocked if this violates the community guidelines somehow. Hopefully not. But it wouldn't shock me. Also, I don't intend to spread misinformation here at all. Or promote illegal anything. I'm just trying to vent frustrations about the world. But yeah, if I could ever get out of this hell somehow, that would be amazing. I mean, I do get to visit Europe again in 2027. I feel like that should go well unless UK passes a certain law, which you can help prevent right now via a link to transactional site. Basically, mail your NPP a thing to address a bill related to bathroom bans. In order to keep your state safe for yourself and others. Also, most of our leaders don't even represent us anymore, if I'm being honest. As Duke Sue once said, quote, white old men. I don't want to finish that quote now. There's a certain line about sucking a dick, but that's a bit extreme. He was also in the same song where he mentioned that there's 81 genders. There's more than that, I'm sure of it. Because those are just definitions. There might have been 27 mentioned. No, I said 81 at some point when I researched. Because, yeah, I've researched it too. Anyways. To try and get back to a cheerier note, I've gotten access to the JSON Loader team, and I also have access to the GitHub, so I'll be maintaining that more actively. I am basically its new maintainer. I've also contributed to Thunderstore and Heights modding a lot this year. If you haven't seen the Thunderstore documentation on Heights modding, you should definitely check it out. Sorry, I drank soda. I also founded, well, I didn't found it this year, but I started the website associated with Stoke Games, which you can find at stokegames.icu. And supported via the Ionis link, the free website guys affiliate link, donating to my Ko-Fi, which I definitely will need soon. I have a bill due in April, which is about $144, and I'm still jobless. And honestly, that's a factor that's really frustrating in this climate. Because I gotta pay bills at some point. And without being able to get a job, that is extremely hard. Oh yeah, also, another fun thing. Kansas is revoking IDs for trans folks. I believe Mississippi was doing the same thing. One of the two also is reporting those people to ICE. They say we're not on the brink of a genocide, but look at the signs. I also started Cecil libraries in December of last year. So far, we have one library with 5 versions out. We have a bridge project, which will allow you to use modern net, like net 10, all the way down to net framework 3.5. We have a build for every single version in between those. For Windows, x64, x86, ARM64. We have OS X 64, OS X 86. We have Linux, Linux ARM 64, Linux Muscle 6, ARM 64. And I think there was also Linux ARM as well. But yeah, all modern versions will support pretty much net framework 4.7.2 up to the latest net. We don't have net 11 yet because it's not fully out yet, but that'll come soon. I plan to do that with every library release from now until the future. And any project I release, sorry in advance GitHub for the amount of releases I put out, but I want to make sure I'm supporting as many people as I can with my stuff. And I don't have the money to afford a CDN or a content delivery network, which I don't even think that's a proper file hosting system anyway. But I don't have the ability to just host things myself in the sense of file uploads for anyone in the world to have. If I did, I'd have that integrated into Stoke games already. Also, I'm planning to do a thing called Hexmal Software, which will basically be a game mod and software provider with compatibility for integrations with Thunderstore, Nexus Mods, CurseForge, probably ModDB on there too, Automate, and many other systems out there. I plan to also support Steam and Epic Games if I'm able, including including good old games. I am a stop building game supporter. Since even before I heard about stop building games from the Cursed Farms video, which was a little before the drama with Fart Software, if you recall right. But I'm kind of thankful that it happened because it spread awareness of the thing that needed to happen. Even if governments don't want to initiate it, it's a problem that needs solving. And I will stand by that. It's like the trans issues. I don't know how I keep getting trailed back to politics. Oh yeah, also I started working on Act 2, the reimagining again. I might not be the most active on it this year, but I'm planning to get more active with it. I just need my mental health to allow me to. Oh, I also never mentioned it, but in 8th grade there was 3 guys that were hitting on me. One of them, if I recall right, got a JP the following year. But I'm not sure if that was the same guy. And then the year after that, in 9th grade, I was also getting hit on by a guy. That guy also groped me, which was a really, really fun experience. He also broke 2 sets of my headphones. One of them, if I recall right, thrown them down the stairs during transition. I don't remember when exactly it was, but the guy was in my ELA class that year. And yeah, I remember their names. But I'm not gonna dox them, because I don't want people doing things that they shouldn't. Sorry about the sudden sound of the desk. There's gnats that don't want to ever die in my room. I just keep doing my shit. Oh yeah, also, for the last 3 years, I've been in 3 relationships to name. The first one lasted around 3 years. On my end, it felt great. Like the first year, the second year is probably when I should have ended it, honestly. As my mom said a plethora of times. As I didn't realize, but I am more gay than I am straight. Let's just put it that way. And then I ended the 3rd year in a little before her birthday, if I recall right. And because of a thing I did with another person that ended badly, and shortly after that ending, the other thing ended too, which lasted a total of 10 days. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with my head at the time. And I wouldn't be shocked if she somehow finds this in comments. Honestly, if she did nothing all too wrong, but it also just wasn't a great thing both ways round. But if she does appear, you should definitely check out her game if she still has it available, because it is really cool. I liked working on it. And I really, really fucked up on that front. Like, bad kind of fucked up. I won't go into details here, but I'd say it's equal in how bad it went, if not heavier on my side for being the older one in the situation. And I don't hold anything against her anymore. What she did was kind of deserved, honestly. I don't know what the fuck was wrong with my head at the time. For that whole thing. I've since purged the whole thing, mainly for safety reasons. Pretty sure she ended up doing that too. I think I checked at some point. And it was mainly because DMs were being leaked. And her place, which was not with me, so I deleted this shit so that it wouldn't happen anymore. I mean, the leaking was partially deserved, but also happened a little too much to the point where I needed to do something. Also, I should have probably never spoke out about her to Briar. That partially happened because of stuff I heard from the people who have had previous experience with her, but it wasn't really deserved. She was cool despite the coercion. More so I've been told it was, but honestly, that wasn't. It felt so real. It probably wasn't a real relationship, to be honest. And by felt so real, I mean both sides round. She's honestly really hard for me to talk about because she was very, very cool. At the same time, it was not a good situation for my mental health. Or likely hers either. Uppy's here, hi, and sorry for the shit I caused you. I apologize for everything I did in that situation. Still don't agree with the drama causing factor after the fact, but I'm sorry for what I did directly to you. And then in between that, when I was in 10th grade, also had a crush on another person during the first relationship, which is probably when the sign should have appeared in my mind that I should end the first one. She was also really cool. And that one, I'm the primary one that fucked up. Mainly for not realizing that she was a year younger than me. Like a school year younger. It's bad. But also, there wasn't that much of an age gap. That's so weird for me to say. Please don't clip that. Ugh. Hate the thought of that even getting anywhere. And no, I am not like that. No. I just get crushes on people sometimes without really knowing anything about them, which is where these issues stem from. I'm hoping it gets better in the future. I'm so hoping. Maybe someone older than me for once. Not like insanely older. I don't know why I'm talking about relationship stuff. But yeah, in that situation, I ended up having to speak with cops. I also had to speak with a guidance counselor too. Also sent the equivalent of a death threat via an email to a guidance counselor. It was not directed at the guidance counselor, it was directed at the person who decided to spread rumors about it. Which now I'm friends with somehow. I don't even know how the fuck that even worked. But he's been really cool since that happened. He got better. But yeah, like every single time I've ever gotten in a relationship, it's ended badly. in part because of what I caused, but also in part of drama surrounding it. I have reflected a shit ton since everything. I think I know how to word it at this point. But at the same time, because of all that reflection, I've just been really fucking isolated. Alone. Which is why we're here now. Because I'm basically on my own. I guess I have old friends, but I'm partially too shy to talk to them. Because I'm afraid of fucking up. Like I did pretty much every situation before then. Including with 2 other friends that I got close with too. It's very hard to talk about this stuff, honestly. I know it needs to be said eventually. And it's important to also have transparency. But yeah. I'm not the kind of guy that has never fucked up. I'm the kind of guy that's fucked up several times and learned from it. I don't even know why I still let myself die. Oh. Guess I'm used to the guy being gender neutral. But I go by they, them, she, her now. Like being referred to in feminine ways. I like dressing somewhat feminine. And I've also found that I just really, really like guys. And friends have pointed that out a couple of times, but it tends to be like Indian guys. I don't know why. I really don't. But that tends to be the trend lately. Especially with this one really cute guy, but going with that guy is not a great decision because he's 2 years younger than me. I found that out after I had a crush on him for like 6 months. It's that bad. Sit on for a second. Oh yeah, also I've had pretty much 3 years of therapy too. Pretty much 9th grade through 11th. Which just stopped going because it stopped helping. So that's probably because I didn't and as much because she was really talkative. In a way where I just couldn't really relate. And it's probably because I find it nicer to talk with teachers when it comes to mental health stuff. I really don't know why, but teachers are like my best friend for some reason. Ugh. I hate being congested when I record so much. Speaking of teachers, you should check out Thin Fox's Reflection. Not Reflections, fuck. I'm gonna toss it on. It might have been Revelations. make that slightly louder. For record, this is an album by my Holocaust history and personal finance teacher in 10th grade. It's part of what helped me through my 10th grade summer. And helped me a lot through what happened the following day. This album is one of those ones that I just come back to when I need it. Has 5 songs all in total. Being Fictions, Hourglass, Revolutions, Legacy, and Wonder. He also has overlaps in music interests too. We both like Death Trap, or as I call it, my mental health. Basically like Town of the Parts, Jackson Rose, Cane Hill, Alpha Wolf, Bless the Fall. And I'm not sure about anything really else to say. I think I got all of what I needed to get out in this one. But don't be shocked if you see more in the future, because this world is actively going to shit. And no one wants to fix it. Well, actually, no, that's not true. No one in power wants to fix it. Like, I know the European Parliament wants to fix things. I've heard it through Stop Killing Games. And I know that there are several people out there that also want to fix shit. Because we don't have the power to do so. Honestly, if we ever manage to rewrite our governments, it'd be really lovely if we don't leave the power in the hands of one person. At any stop in the stage. Because that is where corruption comes from. And also, there's a huge need for transparency in governments. Because we need to understand what you are doing. Okay, so it tends to affect us. Honestly, a thing that I've had in my mind for a little bit was basically like replacing the role of president with a collective of people representing different sectors of society. Each of them combined would have the power to make decisions. Kind of like the European Union. Basically, each of these groups would have to collaborate in order to make changes. Which is also kind of like the Articles of Confederation, too. Unlike our current system, where the power of executing laws falls onto one sole person. Yeah, fun fact. The original draft of the Constitution wasn't going to have a Bill of Rights. How does it... I think I'll And here, check out then Foxes, check out Floppy Description, check out Tricky underscore. And also do your research into the history of the world, because that will be the most valuable thing you will have one day. And as always, stay curious. Makes you a stronger person if you stay curious, in my opinion. Because it means you're able to innovate ideas that no one has ever thought of before. And that's powerful. Especially in a system where every government is basically corrupt modernly. Not saying that every single one out there is corrupt, but a good chunk of the main ones, e.g., where I live and where United Kingdom's heading, are. Oh, also, I'll leave it off with one last note. If you made it through all of this, thank you for listening. And if you want to help out with any of my projects, they're all open source. I have over 100 repositories at this point on GitHub that you can contribute to and help improve. Just know that AI code is just a no-go for me. So please do not send AI code in your pull requests if you do so. It's a lot nicer when there's actually a human behind it, because then there's soul. And someone who I could eventually pay down the line for actually improving things. And those few people are the kind of people that really should be around in the presence of power. The creatives that keep getting their jobs taken. Businesses stolen. Lives taken. Actively suppressed under regimes. The list goes on. But to those few, please stay creative. And if you want, feel free to connect on LinkedIn. That's usually where I share most of my stuff lately. Because community there has been so nice to me. Like, way nicer than it's ever been here, honestly. I think it's because most of my connections are either European or British. Because honestly, I find it that the American is the root cause of hatred and stuff. All because we were founded in wars. And are pretty much always active in some kind of a war. Be it an internal, an external, a emotional, physical, a mental, etc. Even technological kind of war. Keeps people in a state of hatred toward each other without the one to care. And instead of congratulating those people, congratulate the few. Be isolated and often alone. Sorry, I'm hearing someone else at my door again. I could not be congested right now. Ugh. I think just putting this album honestly helped. I really wish I could get a CD of this one day. If you're here, please. And also, please keep making music. It's really good. I guess speaking of music, I believe I have around 400 bands followed now. And then I have double that in terms of hours played / modded on subscription. I've dedicated a lot into the communities I'm in, and wish they'd give something in return someday, even if small, which has somewhat happened over the years. Part of me wishes for more, but that's probably not deserved. And I shouldn't really be asking for that. If they want to support me, they can. But there should be no obligation. Even if I am the one keeping things running half the time. Without being asked. Like, most of my work in the past, 5 years has just been volunteer-based. It started with One Source Online, founded by Gristle, Feller, Flock of Crows. I believe there was also an Ashley in that group. Not the other Ashley. Or the other Ashley. I know too many. There is some other people around them too. But that was my first time getting involved with the community. An actual nice community that unfortunately got shut down December 2019 because of lack of funds, if I recall right. That was still around, I'd love to still be there. Or if we can get it back, maybe run the modded stuff again. Or just be a community manager. Because honestly, that's what I love doing, along with educating people. And when people learn from the stuff I do, that's where I get most of my thrill from. That's what I like doing. That's why I have so many tutorials available. And that's why I'm making a documentation site. I like keeping people informed. And I like helping people. That's why I have way too many hours in tech support. Which, mind you, that's also voluntary. I didn't have to do any of that. But I chose to. And I chose to stick around Inscription since 2022. I considered leaving twice, but came back. Because it's honestly just the community I love. And thanks to me being that involved, I've managed to get into the Denny Mullins Games event committee. Which is also partly because I know things that happened way, way long ago. For example, Teeth and Bile being part of Annie's Amazing Additions and Alterations before Annie's Amazing Additions and Alterations. I forget the 4B part. Was something Bones. Oh yeah, And it was also there before 5A redid the energy system into what it is. And before Augmented happened. And before Rescripted. And before Ding's Megamix. And before the second iteration of Redley's expansion. I think also before Inscription Overhaul finished, which is just crazy. Oh yeah, and Inscription modding wise, I was there before Casey's mod came out. And I'm still there. Now contributing as like the sole contributor to the main APIs for the game. And just helping the community that's still there. I'm hoping we can get more modders there. It would be amazing. But the game hasn't really been updated in years, so that community's kind of waning. But I don't plan on leaving the game ever. As much as some would feel like I should at this point, because it's pretty much dead, but it's my community. It's what I grew up with. And it's the one that I want to stay around. Because unlike the people I know IRL, they are the main people that helped me through most of my mental shit. Which is saying a lot. Like, they are my family. And I also just noticed that Anime Jesus followed me at some point. That's crazy. I don't even know when that was. Oh. I haven't checked my notifications in a while. I was got followed by See Confine? My god. And Twinkles. Bro. So many people I grew up with. What the fuck? And then I recently got another 2 follows from Ruffle 1000 and Zephyr Atvi. One of them from the Pride Cell community. Feels like it. Oh, I'm tired. I'm gonna probably chill for the rest of the night and try and get homework done tomorrow if I'm awake enough. If not, I'm just gonna rest that day. Probably. I've been working myself a bit too hard again. I've got about, I want to say, 28 and a half German assignments left to do in about 6 weeks. Roughly one day. Then I also have another 2 courses on top of that, which are pretty short. They're also honors level, so they shouldn't be that hard to get through. Just German's been my struggle because of the way it's laid out. Because Canvas, the place that got hacked twice, by the way, and had data leaked, it's not really the greatest platform to learn off of. Like, to the point where I'd be willing to make my own learning platform just to do that class. Which really says a lot. I also just like making projects, which that class offers little in terms of that. It's mostly just a shit ton of quizzes and 10+ page lessons. Like, I understand German better without doing the course somehow, but I have to take it for college purposes. But I don't think I'm getting the 2 years for the Bright Shines system. Which, in case it wasn't ever clear before, I'm Floridian. Ugh. Which isn't as bad as some people think it is. I mean, there might be stuff in law against the place, but to be in it, hasn't been that terrible. Of course, I'm sure it'll probably get worse at some point. And so I think that the next governor does us a favor and improves things, which at this point I believe is more than likely James Fishback. Which aims to do a lot in terms of improving the state. I'm hoping it goes well. And he doesn't do something against us like Trump did. But also, he's not Israel fronted or anything, so I feel like he has more than likely chance of being real. Even though people are against us, not against us, against him, because of a certain occasion that happened in his past. But also, that's the past, not the present him. While the past is useful to know, we shouldn't dwell on it that heavy. Unless they did something, like, seriously bad to the point where they've been impeached. Which is probably not the best analogy. I was saying that is basically some people can just fuck up sometimes really bad, but that doesn't mean they're just inherently evil because of that. And oftentimes that can just be resolved by making sure they read less and stuff. Depending on the person, of course. Not everyone's the same. And in my opinion, there is no such thing as being born good or evil. You're made good or evil. But that's probably not universally true. That's just what it feels like for me. That's the thing that I had a, 2 a.m. conversation with my dad about. Which, thinking about that conversation, I just hate so much. Like, it's the kind of conversation that probably shouldn't have happened. But it was kind of worth it to happen because now I talk to my parents more so my mom. My dad was kind of creepy in that one. At least I remember him saying creepy stuff, but also that was way too late at night. If he's watching for some reason, sorry. I just felt the need to say that. Sorry, there's a tone of disgust in my voice, but it was kind of. I should probably stop yapping for the night. I'm probably not gonna bother putting a thumbnail or editing this. Keep in mind that this was a vent. Meaning I'm not thinking the straightest on everything. I'm also really tired, so if anything I said sounds a bit heinous, it might not be what I'm actually thinking or meant to mean. And don't worry, my family isn't that bad compared to others out there. I just had a bunch of mental health related to family stuff the past few years. It's starting to get better, but it's still not great. I still kind of went out. Honestly, just really went out in general. Like maybe out of America. Maybe out of the continent too. Like I want to be as far away from that main switch as possible. Not not referencing my dad, referencing my leader. And notice how we don't explicitly name people. That's a safety precaution. And also kind of just makes it universally applicable. I'm not being specific about which leader, which means it could refer to any. Not the best thing to include, but I do want to just add another apology for Ash. And also for the first relationship I was in, which would be a person named Luna. She was really cool. I'm the one that fucked it. And because of the other relationship, I just wound up fucking up harder. To the point where we don't even speak anymore. Hate it. But that's what happened. I'm really sorry that happened, you know. And with that apology, I'd also like to extend that out to a person named Gary. I know that's really generic. But they were also in our friend group, and then also to Orion / Oaken / Ray as well. I believe they saw the apology I sent, but I do mean it. I'm sorry for what I did. I shouldn't have broke up in that manner, and should not have tweeted about being in a new relationship immediately after. Like, that's just bad boyfriend material right there. It should never have happened. And I wish I never let it happen. I wish I waited longer for that shit to happen anyway. Or broke up sooner. Something that would have wrecked things completely. And these apologies have been a thing that I've been meaning to dish out for a minute. I'll also include a not going to be hyper specific about names because I don't want them being doxxed. Like, that's been a huge thing. That's why I ban people that have mentioned my ex's names in really, really bad ways. Like, I shouldn't even know what a Blumpkin is, but that's how I found out. Oh. But yeah, I still care about you guys. Even if it doesn't seem like it, I still really care. I don't forget the name. I still remember Laura. I honestly don't know if she was real anymore. I believe she was, but I have no concrete proof anymore. It's been like 15, 16 years now? No, probably less than that. Again, I feel way too old. I also still remember Laura and Alice, Akira. Also, I believe there's an Emily too. they were all really cool people that deserve some appreciation. Because they chose to be around me when many others wouldn't. That's good. Zachary, Ethan, Seth, and modern David being my primary best friends throughout the years. But now it's basically net zero on that front. Hopefully that senior year fixes that to some extent. I'm hoping I gotta try and socialize even though I'm really asocial in person. Yeah, it's so sad. This is the one that sticks with me the hardest. Oh yeah, and I also had bullies in my elementary too. I don't remember bro's name anymore. No, I want to say it started with a CO. But basically, there was this one kid that took my shoes on the bus and threw them at me. If I recall right. Basically, reached under the seat, took them off, and then did that. There was also another kid, I forget his name, but he pushed one of my friends to the ground. As another kid did to me in 7th grade in gym. Oh. I would love to be. Ugh. But yeah, my past has been a really fun thing. There's probably more that you can find across my posts across the many years. It's on here, you could usually tell how much I've changed. Even within a month. More people in the fucking background for no reason. In the middle of the night. Also, I'll include one last thing. I've been really wanting to start my own band of sorts. Somewhat as a fan source, but also because I just want to do covers of a lot of songs in a new light. For example, a lot of Set It Off songs, and It Was the Battle, and TX2. Really the people that I grew up with throughout my childhood that helped shape me, along with the communities that I've been in. It Wins the Battle was the first major artist I've ever listened to. Modernly, I own about 10 of his CDs, I think 3 of them signed. I'm still missing Songs of Time, though. And that's my favorite. That's the one I started with. Well, Spotify-wise, more so. But Hands of a Thief is one of my favorite songs by him. And I'd love to have that on a CD. Oh god, this is how you know I'm congested. When you can fucking hear it over the microphone. But yeah, if I can ever get any of Nate's old albums, that would be amazing. I also have the Idle Hunt album too. Okay, this is probably a good ending point. I'm starting to sing more than the thing. It's been an hour and 32. I think that's enough end. Anyways, I'll see you in the future. Might be a mod review series update soon. I'm kind of waiting for the next hotel update, but also application too, and coursework. I just think the coursework is what it needs to prioritize. Just German is really hard to prioritize because I keep wanting to do other things. But I've got most of what I wanted to do over summer done at this point. Really not what I started out with wanting to do. But at the same time, I've got a lot of things done for those anyway. I'm shivering again. Grimm's gotta be back. Not sure. But yeah. We're up for this really long video up here. Again, sorry if anything like crazy was said. I honestly forgot. And I do not plan on editing vent videos. So they are just raw emotion, basically. If anything was said here that sounds like a canon, it's not. Oh yeah, also, for those that never saw the code, because I hid in a 0.1% of a frame in 4 frames of a video a while ago. Cecil said, master your bow is key. Do with that what you will. And for the record, that was Creator speaking. But yeah, we'll see you in the future. You guys. And sorry for my past bullshit. I will keep working to improve myself. And I will keep working to improve my mental health and keep working to get work. As again, I'm jobless. All like 20,000 hours I committed into community towards volunteer work. I got paid like maybe 3 times over the years. But yeah. Hope to see you around in a more positive light again soon. Also, you don't see this, but I rubbed my hand against the mic a couple times throughout this video. I don't know why, but it just feels really nice to rub my head against things. Not in that way, don't you dare. I get him, but not in that way. But yeah, I probably just need more human interaction in my life. And more in-person connections, too. Which, based on my age and what I do, is really hard to find. Honestly, it feels like I should have graduated college like twice over at this point. At the same time, I'm not out of high school. But yeah, that is definitely enough yapping for one day. I'm gonna hit stop streaming. It's been an hour and about 36 minutes as of recording. It's also currently 9:14 p.m. June 21st of 2026. Don't worry, I won't be staying up as late as I did last night. I cannot do another one of those nights. But yeah, I'll try and get some JSON loader done soon. I plan on revamping the thing, maybe doing a CSV loader, and some other cool stuff. But yeah, that's all I got for you. Let me see ya.